church from home thing. Like, it is the absolute dream. Haven't been late for church at all. Like, got up early, get a wee shower, just chilling in my jammies, I'm having a wee flick through Instagram. Absolutely love this. Like, no more leaving the house at 9:30. Oh, amazing. Instagram's wick this morning. Right, let's see what's on TV. It's 12 o'clock. Well, good morning, UTkids, and welcome to Church Online week 5. I was not running late this morning. This is a soft spring summer 2020. Hope you enjoy my new look. Let's warm up because I know I need to this morning.
Definitely, because you're staying in the house as per usual. I know you are because you're legends. So what we're gonna do today is start a wee challenge for the leaders, and you can also obviously join in from your offer from your house. So what we're gonna do is get a big bowl of like flour or cream, and then put like small like grapes or something, and I'm gonna use like chocolate covered sprouts. No, chocolate balls with like sprout cover on it, not actual sprouts, that's disgusting. And what we're gonna do, have 30 seconds to try and get as many of like the swelly sprouts or your grapes or whatever from here into the bowl. Alright, so this week it's gonna be me, next week it's gonna be Alethea. So yeah, we're gonna try and see how many we can get. So I've got 20 in here. So yeah, so try and get 20 of whatever it is and see if you can beat me. So I'm gonna set the pace. Like, I think I'm gonna win because, you know, I'm speed demon. So yeah, get on it, get ready, and here we go. And also, if you're using flour, cover your face with honey. It's only one rule. So yeah, and if you're using cream, it's fine because it's absolutely stinking. So yeah, let's go. Okay, so what we're gonna do, I've no timer, so I'm gonna use my microwave, and you'll probably hear the bleep as well. So we're gonna use it for a minute, and yeah, so I'm gonna do like a 1 minute 10 seconds so I'll get myself ready, because you know we're gonna be focused on the game. That's why the game, you gotta be focused all the time. Focus steps all the time. So yeah, get ready guys, let's go. Okay, so I'm using the microwave for the timer because nothing else to use. Okay, so 15 seconds there, so you got a minute to do it. And yeah, let's go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Whoa, that was disgusting. Oh, wow. Okay, so that is disgusting. So here, oh. Well, so one recommendation: don't use flour. Use cream or something, because flour is disgusting. As you've seen, went up my nose and it doesn't taste nice at all. And I do apologise for all this. Abby was making like buns last night. So that's why it's a mess. But anyway, we're gonna go to how much I've got, and I'm gonna count it out for you. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So almost out 4, but honestly, I'm happy enough with that. So yeah, next we've got Alethea. I'm gonna go, don't use cream, or use cream, Alethea, don't use flour. And whoever else is doing it, just don't use flour because it's absolutely revolting. I probably will be sick later. The stuff in the back of my throat. But anyway, hope you have a good Sunday, guys. Hope you enjoy the rest of UTkids. Yeah, I'll probably see you next week, or you'll see me next week. So
good afternoon, UTkids, or good evening, good night, good morning, depending on when you're watching this. Hopefully you're watching it live after you've watched church online, and you've done your warm-up, and you've done the song, and you've maybe done the challenge or watched the challenge or plan to do the challenge later. But it's great to have you with us. It's week 5 of church online, kids online. I think I'm starting to get used to this. I don't know about you. I think I'm starting to get used to it. I'm really missing being with church family, seeing all you guys, and being able to like high five people and run about and worship with people. But hopefully it's not going to be long until that happens again. But we're at week 5 of Kids Online, and we're going to be starting a new series today. We are starting a new series. So yeah, we've been going through the Psalms, which has been really cool. I hope you've enjoyed that. And last week we had a class week at Easter Sunday, our Easter Sunday service, which was awesome. And I hope you've had a really good week as well. But today we're going to be starting a new series, and our new series is entitled God is Than I Thought He Was. God is something than I thought He was. So each week we're going to be putting a word in the space, in the blank space, and we're going to be exploring a wee bit more of maybe some of the characteristics or the things that we know about God, some of His characteristics. We're going to be exploring them a wee bit more and finding out a wee bit more about who God is and what we know about Him. And we're going to need your help with that as well, but we're going to find out a wee bit more about that later on. But today, the first one in the series, we're going to be starting with bigger. God is bigger than I thought He was. Okay, God is bigger than I thought He was. And to do that, we're going to open up our Bibles first of all, okay? And we're going to open up to the first book, the first chapter, and the first verse. So that's Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. So if you've got your Bible, open up to Genesis chapter 1. If you don't have your Bible, run and get it quickly. If you've got it on your phone, open it up, and you can pick whatever version you want, which is amazing. I have a paper Bible, so I can't choose my version. So it's going to be ESV today, okay? So bear with me, okay? This might be long. We're going to read the whole chapter, okay? So let's follow along and listen closely to what's been said. You've maybe read it before, you've maybe heard it before, and that's cool, but it's really good to hear it again. So bear with me, and I'm going to try and read it as best as I can. Alright, so here we go. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was without form and void, and darkness was over the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And God saw that the light was good. And God separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness He called night. And there was evening, and there was morning, the first day. And God said, "Let there be an expanse in the midst of the waters, and let it separate the waters from the waters." And God made the expanse, and separated the waters that were under the expanse from the waters that were above the expanse. And it was so. And God called the expanse heaven. And there was evening, and there was morning, the second day. And God said, "Let the waters under the heavens be gathered together into one place, and let the dry land appear." And it was so. God called the dry land earth, and the waters that were gathered together He called seas. And God saw that it was good. And God said, "Let the earth sprout vegetation, plants yielding seed, the fruit trees bearing fruit in which is their seed, each according to its kind on the earth." And it was so. The earth brought forth vegetation, plants yielding seed according to their kinds, and trees bearing fruit in which is their seed. each according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. And there was evening and there was morning, the third day. And God said, let there be lights in the expanse of the heavens to separate the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons, and for days and years. And let them be lights in the expanse of the heavens, and to give light upon the earth. And it was so. And God made the two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night, and the stars. And God set them in the expanse of the heavens to give light to the earth, to rule over the day and over the night, and to separate the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. And there was evening and there was morning, the fourth day. And God said, let the waters swarm with swarms of living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth across the expanse of the heavens. So God created great sea creatures and every living creature that moves, with which the waters swarm according to their kinds, and every winged bird according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. And God blessed them, saying, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters in the seas, and let birds multiply on the earth. And there was evening and there was morning, the fifth day. And God said, let the earth bring forth living creatures according to their kinds, livestock and creeping things and beasts of the earth according to their kinds. And it was so. And God made the beasts of the earth according to their kinds, and the livestock according to their kinds, and everything that creeps on the ground according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. Then God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the heavens, and over the livestock, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God he created him, male and female he created them. And God blessed them. And God said to them, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the heavens, and over every living thing that moves on the earth. And God said, behold, I have given you every plant yielding seed that is on the face of all the earth, and every tree with seed in its fruit. You shall have them for food. And to every beast of the earth, and to every bird of the heavens, and to everything that creeps on the earth, everything that has breath of life, I have given every green plant for food. And it was so. And God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And there was evening and there was morning, the sixth day. So, I'm sure you've read the story of creation before, and I know that I have read it so many times from when I was really, really young in Sunday school, right the way up when I was at youth, and I heard it and at camps and everything, and I've heard it so many times, and I know the story of creation. I know that God created everything, and I know that the story of creation shows that God is big. And I've sang all the songs. Our God is a great big God. You know the song? And we know that God is big. And I know it. I knew it from I was really young that God is a big God. But there was a moment in my life when I realised that God is way bigger than what I think and what I understand. And so a number of years ago, I think I was maybe like 21, so it wasn't that long ago. It was maybe like 6 years ago, 6 or 7 years ago. It was about 20 or 21. And I went to a camp, okay, I was a leader at a camp, but it was away over in Canada, so I don't know what direction Canada is, but it's somewhere away from Northern Ireland. It's above America. You've maybe been before, or you maybe know where it is, but it's a massive place, so it is. But it was in Canada, and the camp was right beside this lake, okay, so it was a big bit of water. It wasn't an ocean, it was a big lake, okay, but it looked like an ocean, okay. when I stood at the edge of the lake and looked out, it was huge. It almost felt like I was standing at the East Strand. I was standing by the sea. Like, I could hardly see anything else apart from water, and it was crazy. It just seemed so big, this lake. But my understanding of lakes were kind of small, because any ones that I've seen in Northern Ireland have been like smallish, okay? But this one, I was told, okay? Now, I was told a fact, but me being me, I had to go and research it to make sure that it was actually a fact, and it is. This is true, and this is what blew my mind, okay? So, this lake that we were staying beside, whenever I stood by it and looked at how big it was, the area, okay, so the size of the lake, the surface area of the lake, was able to fit the whole of Belfast, okay? So I live in Belfast. I've always lived in Belfast, and I think it's big enough, okay? I know that the world is huge, the earth is huge, and we're going to get into that. But like, I thought Belfast was quite big, okay? If you went up the Cave Hill and stood and looked out and looked over Belfast, it is massive, it's really big, okay? But I was told that the area of Belfast was able to fit in the area of this one lake. And I was like, oh my goodness, that is crazy. That is a massive lake. That is so big. And then I found out that this particular lake was one of the smaller lakes in Canada. That there was way bigger lakes. There was lakes that were the same size that could fit the surface area of Northern Ireland. Right? The surface area of Northern Ireland could fit in a lake in Canada. Like, my mind was blown, and I realised these lakes were just a small part of this bigger land in Canada, and Canada was such a massive place. And then I realised that Canada was just a small piece of land in all of the land in all of the earth. And then I realised that all of the land in all of the earth was just a part of all the land and all the sea that was on the earth. And I realised how big the earth actually was. And in that moment, when I thought back to Genesis, and I realised that God created the whole earth, everything that I thought of just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I realised, oh my goodness, God is way bigger than I ever thought, because God created all of this. He created everything, the lakes, the land, the seas, everything that's on it. God created every single thing. And honestly, in that moment, like, I just stood by that lake and everything went through my head, and I was thinking about it all, and I realised how big God is. And I also felt really small. I felt so small and so insignificant. I was like, oh my goodness, like, I feel quite big, like, in comparison to like a ladybird or like an ant. Like, I feel quite big, but I feel like an ant now in comparison to how big the earth is and how much bigger God is. It was absolutely crazy. And yeah, it got me, like, it blew my mind, and I started to realise how much bigger God actually was. And then I started to think a wee bit more about how God created everything and how big that made him. And I was thinking about all of that, and I want to show you two of my favourite books that I've ever been given, okay? Now, you're going to think I'm a geek, and that's okay. That's totally okay, because I'll take it. But these are two of the favourite books that I've ever been given, okay? So this is the first one. It's a book all about Earth, right? I'm a geek. That is the size of it, okay? It is absolutely huge. There are, let me see how many pages, 520 pages all about the Earth, okay? So that's one of the books. like one of my favourite books that I've ever been given. I haven't read the whole thing, I've read parts of it, but I always go to it for research and for this in particular. And the next one is slightly bigger, but it's this one here. And no, that is not a picture of me on the front cover. I know some of you said that. But it's not me, okay? But this is also one of my favourite books that I've been given. And this, again, look how thick it is, okay? It has, like 620 pages. Yeah, 621 pages, okay? And it's got information about nearly every animal on the earth. Every species, information about them, where they come from, like the size of them, the weight of them, loads of different information. I'm a geek. I like researching all this stuff, but it's really helpful. So I was thinking about all the things that God created and how big He is. And so I went to these books from research, okay? And I'm going to give you a few facts, okay, to show how big God is, and probably it might make you feel really small as well. It made me feel small, but it's okay because there's a reason for that. So there's loads of animals, and I'm only going to pick a few, okay? So I'm going to say I'm 6 foot. I'm not 6 foot. I'm like 5'10", 5'11", but for the purpose of today, let's say I'm 6 foot. So that's pretty big, I think. It's pretty big. So there's an animal called a brown bear. Anybody heard of a brown bear? Anybody seen a brown bear? I would not like to see one in real life. But they can grow up to about 10 foot. Okay, so that's just less than 2 of me. Okay, so that's, like, if you imagine a big bear. So that's pretty big. A giraffe. Okay, giraffe is a big animal. It's a big long neck. They can grow up to 19 feet. Okay, so that's just over 3 of me-ish. So again, pretty tall. Okay, pretty big. Okay, let's move to the sea. So there is an animal called a whale shark. Now all of this is coming from my books. Very, very reliable. Okay. So there's a whale shark. If you've heard of it, cool. It's a bit weird, whale and a shark. I thought they were 2 different things, but a whale shark can grow up to 46 feet. Let me repeat that. 46 feet. That's about 8 of me. Okay, could you imagine going to the beach one day and going out for a wee swim, and all of a sudden you see a whale shark coming up beside you and being like, "Yo, what up, Steve-O? I'm a whale shark." I think I would pass out right on the spot. I would pass out. There's no way that I could swim beside an animal the size of that. Like, that is absolutely crazy. That is huge, and God made that. Okay, now here's the next one. Okay, and this is the last animal, because by all my research, this is the biggest animal that lives. Okay, and it's also in the sea. And some of you might know what it is. Some of you maybe said, "Oh, I know what it is. It's such and such." So if you said blue whale, you would be correct. A blue whale can grow up to 98 feet. 98 feet. Again, that is an animal that is in the sea. I like going to the beach. I don't think I want to go in the water ever again, knowing that there's animals the size of that in the sea. Now, they're probably not in Portrush, like, and that's cool. But if I went on holiday, you don't know what could be out there. But 98 feet, that's about 16 of me. Roughly about the width of a football pitch. That is a crazy size for an animal. It is absolutely huge. But God made it. God made every single one of those animals. So God is even bigger than those animals. Now the thing about that is these particular animals are just a small part, because a blue whale, although it might be 98 feet, is only a wee tiny part of the size of the oceans and the size of the seas and the size of the water that is on the earth, which is crazy, like, to think about how much water there is on the earth. And then there's all the land as well, and all those other animals that are all over the earth and on the land. It is mad to think how big the earth is. And so again, I did some more research to see the size of the earth, to see how big it actually was. Now, I'm sorry if I'm boring you with all these facts, but it just blows my mind. It's so I find it so interesting. I hope you're finding it interesting as well. But some more facts about the earth, okay? So the diameter of the earth is 7,928 miles. 7,928 miles. So the diameter is from one side, and if you went right through the earth, so not round, if you went right through to the other side, that's the diameter, okay? So if you started at one side of the earth and you dug a big hole, a big tunnel, right the way through the middle and to the other side, okay, that would be the diameter. 7,928 miles. If you were to travel that in a car at 60 miles an hour, it would take you 5.5 days, just over 5.5 days, to get from one side of the earth to the other side of the earth. That's going through, that's taking the shortcut. It's going the shortcut through the earth, okay, not round. Over 5.5 days. That's how big the earth is, okay? Again, my mind just keeps blowing. And God made that. In Genesis we read that God brought that all together and He created the earth. He is so big, okay? Even bigger than that, alright, is, if you know a bit about solar system and all that kind of stuff, okay, and other planets. So there's other planets, and God created everything, and He created the stars, He created the universe, He created everything. So He created these other planets, okay? Now, I did another wee bit of research, and a really big planet, I think it is the biggest planet in our solar system, is Jupiter, okay? So we have Earth. So if you think of how big Earth is, of all the things that I've just said, and you think, oh my goodness, Earth is so big, right? Jupiter is 11.2 times bigger than Earth. 11.2 times bigger than Earth. So it's like Jupiter being a football and Earth being like a ping pong ball, okay? That's the difference, okay? So you think Earth is really big, like a ping pong ball, and then Jupiter comes along, it's like, yeah dude, I'm way bigger than you, okay? And God created that as well. God is so big, okay? Like, there are moments in my life when I realize how big God actually is. God is bigger than everything. He is bigger than all the massive animals that were created because He created them. He's bigger than all the seas because He created them. He's bigger than the earth because He created it. He's bigger than the solar systems and the stars because He created it all. God is so big. And when you think about all of that, you may just think, yeah, and I'm like super small. But what's really cool is whenever we read all this in Genesis and we realize how big God is because of everything that He created, later on we realize, okay, that God created us as well. He created us in His image. And later on in Genesis we read that whenever Adam and Eve were walking in the Garden of Eden, they were taking the apples off and eating the apples, and they were taking the bananas and eating the bananas, and they were playing with the lions and the tigers, and they were having all, like, they were just enjoying what God created. God walked with them. You see, God wanted a relationship with the things that He created. He wanted a relationship with us, and that's amazing. That is the most amazing thing, that although He is absolutely huge, He is so big, and he created everything. He wanted to have a relationship with us. So whenever we feel really insignificant and small, we have to realize that God is bigger than everything and anything, but he wants a relationship with us, and that's amazing. And God is bigger than absolutely everything. No matter what situation or circumstance that we're in, God is bigger than it all. God is absolutely amazing. So we think about how big God actually is, and we realize that God is bigger than everything, every circumstance and every situation. And especially in a time like this where we're a bit confused, not sure what's going on, God is bigger than it all. God is bigger than us feeling nervous and afraid. God is bigger than every situation that we come up against. And what I would really encourage you to do is to read the story of Genesis again, read the story of creation, and realize how big God is, and not think of God like this big God that's away out there and doesn't want anything to do with us, because that's not true. God wants to be a part of our lives, and he wants us to make him a part of our lives, because we have that choice. We have a choice to say, no God, like you're out there and I'm just really small and insignificant. Or we can say, God, I realize that you're so big that I want you to be in my life, and I want to be able to bring I want to be able to bring everything to you. And he wants that. He wants to be a part of our lives, no matter what it is. He wants us to bring it to him because he's bigger than it all. And I think that's absolutely incredible. And that's my encouragement for you, is to realize how big God is. God is so much bigger than we could think or that we could imagine. But he loves us, and he wants to be a part of our lives. And that's absolutely incredible. No matter what it is that we go through, we may think when we're doing an exam, maybe we're doing a music exam, or we're doing a test in school, or we're nervous about something, or we're struggling with something, and we may think like, this is so big, like I don't know how I'm going to do this, I don't know how I'm going to get through it. But when we realize how big God is, we realize that God is bigger than all of that, and we bring that to him, and he will be with us, and he will encourage us through that. And nothing is too big for God. Nothing is too big for God, because he is bigger than it all. He created everything, and when we think of everything that we've just learned, how big God is, we realize that God loves us and wants to be a part of our lives. So I hope you've realized how big God is, you realize how much he loves you, and that you're not small and insignificant to him, because he created you in his image and he wants to be a part of your lives. But like I was saying earlier, we do need your help, okay? So over the next couple of weeks, we're going to be looking at filling in the blank, okay? And we want you guys to help us out with that. We want you to comment on the video about some of the characteristics of God, some of the things you know about God that you maybe want to explore a wee bit more. Maybe you can fill it in with God is more powerful than I thought he was. God is more caring than I thought he was. Different words. Maybe you can chat with your mum or dad or your brother or sister, whoever you're at home with. You can have a wee chat with them, and you can comment in below, or you can fire it through an email. But we'd love to hear from you, and we'd love to explore the things that you want to hear as well, and that would really help us out. So we want you to stay tuned for all the stuff that's happening this week. Engage with that. If you're not signed up, sign up to the emails and get everything through that, and hopefully we'll see you next week. So thanks for tuning in. Bye.